Hello everybody and welcome to our next live session on our topic today, comparing the Uniz 3D printers. And today we will be giving a little brief insight and a little bit more understanding of the different printers that you see on the screen today. We have the Slash Plus, which you see on the left side, which is white in color, and we have the Slash 2 on the right side, which has actually brought back the orange cover from the actual Slash 1 that was initially released. So they brought back the orange cover. So without any more delay, we will continue with our slides today, explain to you guys a little bit more about the differences and the comparisons of the two printers, and let's move forward. So the first thing that I will be showing is a video on the Uniz printer, just an overview video of all the things that it can do in our dental market. So please do enjoy the video. And there you have it, a very nice short video of the Uniz printer, the capabilities, and as you can see, it's one of the world's fastest 3D printer on the market. So one of the most exciting things, as well as we all know and we are all looking forward to, is the aligner resins and the other resins that are going to be readily available for the Uniz printer in Malaysia. And the moment that they are ready, when they are available, you will all be notified and you will all know when you can start getting these new materials with the Uniz 3D printer. So just a quick introduction of the Uniz 3D printer. It's a printer that was based in San Diego. This printer actually also did start on Kickstarter, and it's just the same as like how Formlabs also started. Uniz was also started on the Kickstarter platform, and they started in the year of 2014. So Uniz has been around for quite some time already. They've been around for almost 6 years in the 3D printing industry. And they have also released a Slash series of printers, which are notable because of their ability to 3D print objects at a very rapid speed. And just to give an example, some of the examples of how fast the 3D printer can print, of course depending on your resolution, but we can say that it has fast speeds of 10 to 15 minutes per arch. So printing a dental arch, whether it's for a study model, or maybe you're doing a digital diagnostics, or maybe you're doing your own aligners in-house or doing retainers, you can actually 3D print a model in 10 to 15 minutes on the 3D printer of the Uniz. This also comes with a very big build platform, so you can put a lot of models in one printing time. And then it's also a very super competitive pricing for the printer itself and the resin consumables. So in the 3D printing industry, print speed, volume and cost are the three major obstacles in 3D printing. And one of the great things that Uniz has done is that it's managed to actually overcome these three things. So like I explained, we got extremely fast speeds on the Uniz printer, and later as we go through, we will explain to you why the Uniz printer can achieve such high speeds. And then when we go over the volume again, we have a very big build platform. And the cost. The cost of the Uniz printer is very competitive to a lot of the big players in our 3D printing industry. And Uniz comes at a very affordable price point, allowing customers to be able to jump into 3D printing without having to put in such a high initial initial investment cost into going into 3D printing. So the next thing as well is that the Uniz 3D printer is very easy to use. It's simple, it has an intuitive workflow for all levels of experience. So whether you're an engineer or whether you're a hobbyist, the Uniz printer is perfect for you. You can actually be able to use the 3D printer as it is a plug and play. And the Uniz software is designed for novice users to simply plug and play, as I said, but has tools that expert level users will appreciate, such as the ability to fully customize printing protocols, such as different resolutions of layers being printed at different points on your print. So that is also one of the great benefits of the Uniz 3D printer, is that if you set up a print for, let's say, 100 microns, you can change halfway through the printing and change it to 50 microns. So sometimes, as we know, in our dental industry, when we print our models, we got supports, or we have the gingiva, and the areas that we don't need to have at such a high resolution, we could print at 100 microns. So then we can have a nice fast speed during those initial layers. And then when we get to areas like the tooth, the anatomy, the margins, or the area where it needs precision fitment, we can then change the resolution halfway from 100 microns and drop it down to 50 microns or 25 microns, so that we can save so much time in a printing workflow. Whereas many printers in the market only allow one layer resolution throughout one single print. So that is also one of the great benefits that you can get with the Uniz 3D printer. So going back to the print speeds, major patent protected breakthrough is their dual liquid cooling system, which enables an extremely high speed printing at up to 200 millimeters per hour, or 1000 cc's or 1 liter of resin an hour. That is incredible. For the price that you can get this printer for, it's amazing the speeds that you can get. And at 200 millimeters per hour, this is why the Uniz has this patented liquid cooling system in order to allow the 3D printer to do that. So very great. Then the next thing we can talk about as well, introducing it, is open system. Everybody loves open system, and open system basically means no constraints on using third-party resins. So as we know, Uniz is one of also the very few companies that not only produce their own resins, but also do allow other third-party resins. Whether this could be from Drave, this could be from NextDent, you can use all these materials as long as it is for the LCD technology type of printing. So you just have to make sure that that resin is compatible with the Uniz 3D printer. But the skies are the limit. You are able to play around, you are able to use other materials, so you don't have to worry that if you buy the Uniz printer, you are only stuck with the Uniz printer. But that's not true. You are actually allowed to go ahead and go around and test all the third-party resins. And that's the brilliant part of an open system. Because as we know, what's good today is not good tomorrow. As we know, technology advances very fast. Technology is always faster than us, and it's always ahead of us as well. So an open system is really a no-brainer, especially if you really want to test all the different materials available in the market. And also, just to add to that, closed systems, they are good, they are reliable, they are really easy to use as well. However, you are going to be limited to what the manufacturer offers. And if that manufacturer does not continuously develop new materials for its printer, you're not going to be able to use any of the other printers, resins that's available on the market. So open system is one of the great things that the Uniz printer has to offer. Okay, so and then the next thing as well is, like what I talked about earlier, is the patent protected technologies, technological innovations in design and material science. So basically, there's a lot of things that Uniz has developed, patented, and has actually improved from since they started in the year 2014, and there's a lot of those available in the Uniz printer. So moving forward, okay, we're just going to talk about a little bit of the achievements. This is two of the very few of the many achievements that Uniz has achieved. So one of them was on the 22nd of October 2019, and the Slash Plus was selected as one of the best resin 3D printers in 2019 by ANIWA, or ANIWA. So what is this ANIWA? So ANIWA is a trusted source of information about emerging technologies specialized in 3D printing, 3D scanning, virtual and augmented reality, and drones. Their goal is to help tech enthusiasts and professionals find the right products by giving them the context and guidance they need to make an informed purchase. And it is a very unbiased platform. It's an unbiased body that they will actually look into all the printers, and Uniz was actually picked as one of the best in 2019. So being picked by ANIWA, that does show to the users, customers, and people who are interested in going into 3D printing, they can see that if they do pick up the Uniz, they can believe that it is a good 3D printer. So moving on, the next one that we have as well, also released in 2019, was by the EOMAC, which uses the Uniz 3D printer in modern orthodontics education. And this orthodontist is in the Nice of France, and they have adopted the Uniz 3D printer and have actually used it in their education and the teachings of their printing of orthodontic appliances, printing of ortho models, etc., and introducing it into their educational platform. So pretty good. That's really great. If you want to see more achievements that's been achieved by the Uniz 3D printer, please feel free to visit their website, check their website out, and you will be able to see even more information there, and you'll be able to see all the great things that they're doing. So just to add a little bit, so some of the great things that the Uniz has been able to do is right now we're in a COVID situation, everybody's in lockdown. Uniz has actually helped to actually 3D print all the important parts. I think one of them was the masks that they wear, and then especially as well as the what's that one, the inhaler, what's it called?
The
splitter. Yeah, they were able to print that for the respiratories as well. So they managed to also print quite a number of those as well to help the people. So that was great. So a lot of great benefits that Uniz has done as well. So moving forward, a little bit more on topic of the comparisons. So what we can see here, this is the Slash Plus, and the Slash Plus is very noticeable by the logo right here. So the Slash Plus is very noticeable. You can tell most of all their printers will have that modeling at the front here of the body. And then, for example, printing technology is a LCD stereolithography. This is the build volume. So we got 192 millimeters by 120 millimeters, and you can print 200 millimeters. So this is quite a big, substantial size platform. And I believe if you print all your models vertically, you are actually able to fit, I believe, 20 to 30 models printing at one time. And in the Uniz printer, you actually can do that in, I believe it's around 25-30 minutes, around there at the high-speed printing. So a very good build platform. So most of the time when you look into 3D printers, you have platforms of all sizes. If you go for the Uniz, you have a big platform. So if you print high volume, you have big cases that you need to print, you can fit a lot. So at one time of printing, you can fit more than a printer with a much smaller printing. We have seen also printers where they actually stack their STL files. They stack their STL files, and the reason for that is because, for example, their platform is a bit too small. But with the Uniz printer, there's no reason to stack. You can just print it right on the build platform. There's no reason to stack. So moving on, one of the important things that is also important to take note in 3D printing is the XY resolution. And you have to understand that when you go and look at the 3D printer, a lot of the times the manufacturer, they will not put the XY resolution. They will only tell you the Z resolution. So the Z resolution is 10 microns, 25 microns per layer. And then the XY resolution is because in the LCD it looks like a pixel. So you got your X and your Y, and that's about 75 microns. So they were looking at 0.075 millimeters of resolution, which is great. It's very highly accurate. And you can see that the highest accuracy there is about 20 microns plus or minus. So great thing about the Uniz as well is the layer thickness, the Z resolution. The Z resolution, you can go as low as 10 microns all the way up to 300 microns. So when we talk about our dental industry, we will print, our normal ortho models, study models, aligners or retainer models at around 100 microns, as that is more than enough of resolution. But then when we do go into crown and bridge, when we do go into printing out wax copings, when we do go printing maybe a castable RPD, for example, you will then want to go down to about 25 microns. So if it's going to need to be a more of a precise precision part, you want to go down to 25 microns. So we have all the way up to 300 microns. What would you use 300 microns for? So for the engineers, if you're an engineer and you need to do rapid prototyping, it doesn't have to be functional. You just need to have a part just to print it out, just to take a look at it, and just to see how it looks from the drawing, from the digital design to a physical in your hand. So what you can do is you need to just take a look at that. And for engineers, we can use the 300 microns to do rapid prototyping, so they don't have to waste too much time. So that's the great thing about the Uniz printer, is that if you get it, you're not only stuck in the dental market. And right now, during this time, you want to have a printer that not only can cater to your industry, but you can also cater to external industries. You can help the engineers, you can print parts for them. You want to help the jewelry guys, you can help print for the jewelry guys. So this is a printer that can really bring great benefits to not just yourself, your company, but it's a printer that can also help the other industries as well. Of course, and without compromising in quality. Okay, so printing speed that I've already explained as well in the earlier slide. We can print at about 200 millimeters per hour, and this is really the great thing about the Uniz printer. You could print at 200 millimeters per hour, or you could print at 50 millimeters per hour. That's completely up to you, because the Uniz is 100% customizable in its settings. You can customize the exposure time, you can customize the speed of the build platform going up and down. You can control the cooling down time. When the LED turns off, you can control, you want it to turn off for 2 seconds or 4 seconds. Everything is fully customizable. Then the next thing that we have also in the Slash Plus is the resin level control. So an automatic level control. So we've seen a lot of printers where you have to actually manually pour the resin into your resin tank, where that can come with problems, because if you did not put enough resin and if there's not a sensor, you're going to print halfway and run out of resin. So with the Uniz, the machine has the ability to read the level. So if the resin does start to go down to a certain level, the printer will then automatically dispense the resin bottle, which actually you can see here. It will actually be pumped in and into the printer. But just to top that off a little bit as well, the Uniz printer also does have a unique feature where it can actually withdraw the resin. And this is something that not many printers on the market have. And Uniz has that ability. So when you are finished printing, and let's say you want to keep your resin because maybe you're not going to use it for maybe more than 1 or 2 weeks, you can actually have the ability to withdraw the resin from the resin tank back into the resin bottle. And that is great, because most of the time customers, they are wondering, how should I keep my resin if I'm not using it for a long time? And you never want to put it back into a used bottle, because you would mix up the resin. If it's dirty, the solution is not the same consistency as well. But with the Uniz, you print, you're done, you can withdraw it back, and then you can safely store your resin bottle back into a shelf, and that will also help to prolong the life of your resin tank. So some of the great features that the Uniz have for the price point that it comes in is really great. Okay, so now we're going to go next and we're going to talk about the Slash 2. So as we explained, they have brought back the orange cover. I think a lot of people were asking Uniz why did they go to this black cover when the previous one was orange. But now I guess they've listened to their customers and they have introduced the Slash 2 with the orange cover. So we will be able to see the big differences compared from the Slash Plus and the Slash 2. And one of the biggest difference here is the LCD is actually a 4K Ultra HD screen. So that means you're gonna get pretty much double the pixels, double the resolution, and a much higher quality print. Surface finish will look very great. So if we go back to the previous one, this is just a standard 2K resolution, and then this one is a 4K Ultra HD resolution. So this is the difference of the Slash 2 and the Slash Plus. So if you feel you need more higher resolution parts, you're working with precision parts, definitely the Slash 2 will definitely be the one to go for. But the Slash Plus can also get the job done too. So build platform is the same. There's no change in the build volume. The build volume is exactly the same. However, if you notice, the XY resolution is now different. So you can see that the Slash 2, it has a 49.8 micron XY resolution compared to the Slash Plus, which was a 75 micron resolution. So a big improvement in the resolution as well. And then of course we come to the highest accuracy of the printer. We're looking at 10 microns plus or minus, which is really phenomenal for the price of the printer and what you can get the printer for. A plus minus 10 micron is a really great accuracy of the 3D printer. So previously it was 20 microns, now they have doubled the accuracy and they've cut the previous one in half. So now it's 10 microns plus or minus. So in terms of layer thickness, it's exactly the same. There's no changes. You got your 10 microns all the way to 300 microns. Printing speed is the same as well. You got your 200 millimeter per hour print speeds. And then of course, yes, you still get the resin pump feature where you can pump your resin automatically into the tank, and when you're done you can withdraw the resin back into the bottle. So this is some of the big changes that you see is the screen, the XY resolution, and the accuracy of the print. So that's one of those are the few main big improvements, but a little bit more under the body as well, under the hood. So we will talk about that as well. So as I go to my next slide, what do you get with the Slash Plus? So this is all the things that you get inside the Slash Plus. So when you buy the Slash Plus, it will come with your power cables, a splitter, and 2 adapters. This is quite interesting. Why is there 2 adapters for one printer? We did ask the same thing when we spoke to Uniz, and they said that by doing the 2 adapters, they were able to keep the cost down. And that's exactly what Uniz's goal is to ensure they can keep costs down, of course without compromising quality, and so in order for customers to be able to pick up the 3D printer. Okay, and then of course we have our screwdriver, we got a spatula, we got USB cable, we have a bottle stopper. Bottle stoppers are extra. It's actually goes inside the bottle here, and it's just to stop from your resin leaking out. We also have a pick, sorry, and then we have an air pump or resin piping. So this over here, this is actually an air pump. So Uniz has actually given it free in all of their Slash Pluses. So if for any reason your air pump fails in the Uniz Slash Plus, you directly have a replacement. So you don't have to worry about having to order that part. But so far in our experience with working with the Uniz 3D printer for I think about a year plus now, we have not seen actually anyone that actually had to change the air pump. As so far we have seen their printers to be very reliable, and if they do need any replacement, the parts are actually very affordable. So an affordable 3D printer with a very affordable ongoing cost, repair cost, these are all readily available, and it's also very easy for the consumer to change themselves if they are interested in tinkering about. And then of course in the Slash Plus, Uniz does give a free model, Z dental model sand. So you already get a 500 ml resin bottle for free thrown in when you buy the printer. So once you get the printer, you can start it straight out of unboxing the 3D printer, and then you can start printing. And then of course we have our alcohol, our clean bottle. So this is also with the Uniz Slash Plus as well. So what is this alcohol clean? So what this is actually is you would actually take the clean bottle and you would actually put it into the bottle holder right here. And what would that do is you actually fill up that bottle with clean IPA. And every time if you use the pump feature and you switch a material, you want to put that bottle in here and run the IPA. So pump the IPA into your resin tank. You can use the IPA inside your tank, so you can wash your tank 100% with the IPA without any worries of the tank being damaged, which is actually a great thing about the Uniz as well, that most printers don't have, because the IPA sometimes can damage things like acrylic, which is their worst enemy, but for the Uniz it's no problem. So you can pump IPA in, take your card, your name card or anything, wipe around the tank, swirl it around, and then you can clean up all the remaining resin that's left in the tank. And once you've done that, withdraw the IPA from your tank back into your alcohol clean bottle. And once you've done that and you wipe down your tank, you have a perfectly clean resin tank. And being able to use IPA in the resin tank is amazing, because how can we maintain and keep our resin tank at the best and to prolong its life? And Uniz has thought of this in order to allow the consumer to be able to use their printers, to use their resin tank for a longer period of time. And once you clean it away, it's spotless. You can straight away put in the next resin, and you don't have to worry if any cross-contamination happen. So you don't have to worry if there's a cross-contamination with other materials that you previously used. Yep. So another great feature that also over there is that the clean bottle. So these are the little few things that Uniz has to offer, which makes really the Uniz printer amazing. It's this like an underdog kind of printer that's out there, and it really has a lot of great things that honestly some of the big printers I don't see have. Okay, so in the Slash 2, you will notice that in the Slash 2, inside the box, you will notice that there's a substantially less things in the box. So they have upgraded. So from the Slash Plus to the Slash 2, they have upgraded their adapter. They managed to put from the 2 adapters to now the single adapter. So they have actually improved that part of the printer as well. So now with a single adapter, you still get your USB cable, you get your screwdriver, of course you get your free dental model sand as well, and then we have the alcohol, the clean bottle, you got your spatula, we also have the net for the radiator. So that's probably very interesting to hear. There is actually 2 radiators in the Uniz printers. And then of course we got some piping here for the resin for the bottle, and then we got a power cable. So quite a big difference. So you'll be wondering, why are certain things missing? So like the Slash Plus, we have the air pump. In the Slash 2, it does not use an air pump, and the reason for that is because of the new improved resin tank, which we'll go over in a bit. We'll explain to you a little bit more about the tank too. So these are some of the things that they've improved. So less things for the Slash 2, but not a compromise, or not because they didn't want to put it in the box. Okay, so as we go next, what makes the Slash 2 better? So what makes the Slash 2 better? So right here, right off the bat, majority of the features are the same, the Slash Plus and the Slash 2, but with some key differences. So the first thing that we will highlight again, 8.9 inch 4K Ultra HD LCD light engine. And this is a really amazing LCD screen, high resolution, just like how I've spoken about it earlier. Okay, and also the great thing to also see is that the /2 has the 49.8 micron resolution compared to the 75 micron /plus resolution XY axis. Okay, the /2 you can do 10 microns all the way to 200 microns layer resolution, which is the same for both. Okay, we also have a greater processing power. Under the /2 we got a 6-core CPU, 4 gigabytes of RAM, so you can believe that you can transfer speeds really quickly to the 3D printer and not having to wait. Just to add on that a little bit as well, when you send your work or cases to the Uniz 3D printer, you can do it through Wi-Fi, or you can do it through a USB that's plugged from your computer to your 3D printer. It does not take USB directly plugged like a thumb drive. You can't plug it into a thumb drive, you can't plug it into the Uniz printer. It's only by the USB cable and the Wi-Fi. So these are the two ways that you can transfer your jobs over to the 3D printer, to the Uniz. So also what's been upgraded is more LED bulbs. Okay, so more LED bulbs in the Uniz /2 has created better uniformity, right? So 96 is for the /plus. The /plus has 96 LED bulbs. The /2 has 128 LED bulbs. So with that, the intensity of the light is more, and the uniformity of the light across the entire LCD screen. So there isn't weak spots or dimmer spots in any areas of the 3D printer, of the LCD screen. So the more LED it has, the better actually in terms of printing big parts, and you don't need to worry about, you know, some areas are not printing too well, maybe because there's not enough bulbs. And this can also help to make your prints much more clear, faster, and also successful as well. So I think one of the great things as well with the Uniz 3D printer that I'm going to talk about here as well is the new tank. Okay, so what do we have? What tank do we have? So over here we have a new dual layer tank, which can allow you to print up to 17,000 layers or 10 liters of resin. That's incredible. Their new tank can really push the value for money for your tank. So 17,000 printed layers or 10 liters of resin. And of course that is considering that, you know, you take care of the tank. If you don't take care of the tank too well, then of course it's not going to last long. But their new tank boasts this this many layers and how many liters of resin. And again, the tanks from the Uniz is also very affordable. The pricing is really great. It's not a big chunk out of your pocket if every time you want to upgrade you want to buy a new tank. So the tanks are also very affordable for the everyday consumer. And the reason for this as well, I believe, is because they cater not only to dental industry, they cater to engineers, they cater to even hobbyists, education, medicals. You know, they cater to all industries. So they have to have a good price point that can take care of all of their different markets and all their different sectors, market sectors, So the printer comes at a very great cost-effective price. And then of course the last great increase is of course accuracy. 10 microns plus or minus deviation plus 10 microns, which is great, and which is double the accuracy of the previous /plus, which comes in at 20 microns plus or minus. Okay, so we move on and we can talk about the details and clarity. So with the Uniz 3D printer, we can see how clear and how detailed the prints come out, and it is really great, as the Uniz printer is the only 3D printer that can change the resolution mid-print. So like how I explained earlier, so for the dental market, as an example, you can have the fitting surfaces or the layers where you need precision parts to be at 25 microns, but the areas like the gingiva or areas that doesn't have to be in high resolution, you can do those at 100 microns. So it's really great that you can actually have these ranges of resolution, because again, majority of printers in today's market If you choose 50 microns, you have to print the entire print at 50 microns. If you choose 100 microns, you have to print the entire print at 100 microns. But with the UniZ 3D printer, it helps and allows you to print 100 layers initially at 100 microns and the next 50 layers at 50 microns. Yeah, so one of the great things about the UniZ 3D printer. So this will actually help to save a tremendous amount of time, because for us in the dental industry, maybe even engineers as well, time is money. So we have to try and find machines or printers, example like the UniZ, that can actually save us time so that we can deliver to the customer fast. Okay, so that is in terms of detail and clarity. So if you want, you can also push the printer to print at an even higher resolution. Okay, so now I'm going to explain the printing process. So right here, this is a nice GIF from UniZ, and this is exactly how it prints. So you can see that the LCD screen is where the gray part is. Actually, that is the body. The LCD screen sits on top of that grayed out area, and the one below that is the LED array. So this is the LED array. Okay, so this is where all your LEDs will be. LCDs here. This is your build platform, and this is the part. So when the LED turns on, you can see that the LCD screen gets hot. Okay, and this is one of their patented liquid cooling system that UniZ has come up with, and this is the reason why the UniZ can print so fast, because the moment it turns on the LED and gets hot, like you can see here, the cooling system pushes and transfers the heat out of the LCD area, out of the board, and come in the fresh cooling liquid that is not hot. So this allows the cooling time for the UniZ 3D printer to be substantially low. So you could even do prints with pretty much zero cool down time. So every layer the print is exposed, and then here comes in the cooling, and then straight away the printer can start printing again. And the reason why the UniZ has this and it can print fast is that the transferring of the heat can actually damage your LCD screen and your resin film. So with the printers that don't have this liquid cooling system, they have to, when they turn off the LED lights, they have to wait quite a substantial amount of time. So they will have to wait until the LCD really cools down, it's not hot anymore, and then turn back on again. Whereas with this cooling system, UniZ, you don't have to wait. LED turns on, LED turns off, the cooling system wipes away the heat, and then the LEDs can turn back on again immediately. Yeah. So every time that LED actually turns on, it's actually curing a layer. It will actually heat up the liquid too. And with the UniZ liquid cooling system, it helps to divert the heated liquid quickly away, which then allows the cool down time to be substantially less. Some cases, cool down time can be set to 0 as well. And without the patented cooling system, there must be a longer cool down time. Okay, so that is great. So if you have a printer that does not have a cooling system like this, you can't push the printer to have no cool down time. You have to have a cool down time. So that's where the patented liquid system comes in and really makes this UniZ printer fast. So as we go next, this is the materials offered by UniZ. So UniZ, they sell standard resins which help to mirror properties of ABS and HIPS plastics. They have engineering resins like durable, rigid, and tough. They have jewelry resins which offer a very nice clean burnout, meaning there will be no ashes or residues left after you're doing out your investment process, or as well as your burnout process. And of course, they also have dental resins such as dental models, surgical guides, retainers or aligners, which are coming soon, temporary crowns, and much more. Yeah, so there's a lot of materials that is offered by the UniZ printer, and between the /+ and the /2, there's no restrictions. So whatever you can print on the /2, you can print on the /plus. And whatever you can print on the /plus, you can print on the /2. So they are still cross-compatible. So that's one of the great things about the UniZ 3D printer that has really helped the industry as a whole. So again, the open system also allows you not to buy any materials from the UniZ company themselves. You can buy materials from other companies, like how I explained. You could buy from a Drave, you could buy next gen materials and use it inside the UniZ printer. So maybe some materials that's not offered by UniZ yet, you can use a third-party material and then you can put it in the UniZ printer. And there is something that they call is a recipe, and that recipe is knowing how to use the light cures, how to put the curing time, exposure time, and that's all fully customizable in the UniZ printer. But this is just a quick little brief of the UniZ 3D printer. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We will definitely come up again with another live session where we will talk a little bit more in depth. We will talk on another topic of the 3D printer, on the UniZ printer, so then you will be able to see in further detail. We could even do some kind of unboxing. We can do a printing demo showing you the software. Oops, that's not good. Showing you the software and how to utilize the software. So all of this we can do in our live session. Yeah. Wait.
If you have any suggestions or something you would like to see, do let us know. You can just drop us a message at Bio3D, or you can just comment underneath this video. And so now we're open for any questions.
Yeah, so we have until 8 p.m. So if you guys are there, if you guys are free, please shoot us any questions, drop us a comment, ask any questions, or if not, you can also send us an email to sales@bio3d.asia, or you can also visit our website at www.bio3d.asia, and you'll be able to see a lot more things that we have to offer to you to you, and all the things that we have.
Alright, so we'll wait for a few minutes here to see if there's any questions. If not, thank you for joining us.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have one question. We have a doctor asking, is this session actually recorded?
We have a question
And
from Dr. Giam. Yep, this
from
session
Dr.
is
Giam.
recorded and it will be posted. After the session.
Yeah, so after this session, it will be posted on it again. Okay, well, I believe that there's no more questions that need to be answered. So we are going to say thanks to all the viewers who watched, and please catch us on our next live stream, which is actually going to be coming this Tuesday. And we are going to talk about the different 3D printing materials that's available for the Uniz printer and other printers in general. So please catch us on Tuesday. So thank you very much and catch you guys soon.